so rarely does one story so capture, the public sensibilities and the public curiosity as a story like this. From the very beginning, because it was so violent, because it was so unexpected, so unpredictable, and because it was so out of the ordinary.
You'll be gone, you'll be living large in 3 cities far away. I will be in you. 20 years sat on the brink. I am a riverbank. Oh Lord, I'm waiting for you. 20 years I've written my lines. So long I'm mummified. And the river that I'm still holding never lost my vision. Time is on my side. Time is on my side. Oh.
Larry Estepa, a veteran reporter, has been covering trials for 33 years. He's in the courtroom when the defendant, 26-year-old Esteban Carpio, is led through the doors. Estepa has never seen anything like it.
First, there was a gasp. It was tough to look at him. He was bruised, he was swollen, he had scars on his face.
Carpio, wearing a mask making him look like the movie character Hannibal Lecter, is being arraigned for murder. In the courtroom, his family is shocked to see his disfigured face.
Step off. Not guilty! I'm not guilty! I'm not guilty, Stephen!
But that only tells part of the story. It's April 17th, 2005, in the middle of the night, and it's a chaotic scene outside police headquarters in Providence, Rhode Island. Beloved police detective Jimmy Allen has just been shot twice in the chest while questioning a suspect about the stabbing of an elderly woman.
Carpio had asked for water, and the 2 detectives that were in there with him, one left to go get the water and locked the door behind him.
Officers outside the room hear a violent struggle, but can't get in because the door is locked from the inside.
And they tragically heard Detective Allen say, "I think he's going to kill me. He's got my gun, he's going to kill me." By the time they broke it down, the officer was dying, and Carpio had jumped out the window.
The now suspected cop killer makes a daring escape, breaking through a glass window and plummeting 3 stories to the ground. Injured but alive, Carpio is on the run. And a massive manhunt is underway. At police headquarters, the mood is somber.
It was a very emotional scene. The police chief himself, Esserman, came down, was seen as they loaded Detective Allen's body into the van. But he took personal command of the situation. He just wanted to be there.
The detective, James Allen, is a 27-year veteran of the Providence Police Department, and few cops are held in higher regard.
He was just regarded as one of the best police officers the city of Providence probably ever produced.
Esteban Carpio is found and taken into custody nearly an hour after his bold escape. It's little consolation to police.
And we've lost a remarkable man today. And this city is the worse for it.
Jimmy Allen passed in the noblest way possible. He gave his life trying to make our lives safer. He died serving us. He died a hero.
The next morning, at the arraignment hearing, the police chief and many of Officer Allen's friends and colleagues await the suspect's arrival.
The air just kind of went out of the room for a second as everybody's eyes were transfixed on Esteban Carpio. They wanted to see, the man they perceived to be a monster who could have done this.
And when Carpio walks in, there are cries of shock and horror. Carpio's mask is called a spit shield and is typically used when a suspect is either bleeding or combative. Police say the suspect was being combative, spitting on them. But his relatives think the mask is covering up a revenge beating Carpio took at the hands of police.
It's police brutality. He was mentally ill, and he needed help, and we couldn't get it. We tried and tried, and he didn't deserve this.
An investigation conducted by the FBI later concludes Carpio sustains his wounds from a combination of smashing through the window, falling 3 stories, and the use of necessary force to apprehend the fleeing suspect.
There is no civil rights violation when injuries are incident to arrest, meaning if he's fighting the police officers, the officers have the right to use whatever force necessary to subdue the subject.
As for the claim by Carpio's aunt that he's mentally ill, the jury rejects his insanity defense and finds him guilty of murdering James Allen. The judge gives him the maximum sentence allowed, life without parole.
This was such an aberrant story that there was no way to put this on an equal plane with anything I'd ever seen before. This was pretty much, the personification of evil in a lot of people's minds. This is the guy that killed Jimmy Allen. And I think there was great relief when it finally came down that this guy was never going to be in a position to harm anybody else again.
The man convicted of killing a Providence police detective with his own service weapon is going to federal court to try and get a new trial. Esteban Carpio is currently serving a life sentence for Detective James Allen's murder more than a decade ago. Eyewitness News reporter Caroline Goggin joins us live from the Providence Mobile Newsroom with more on Carpio's latest appeal. Caroline?
Well, Shannon, in this 15-page court document, Carpio asked the court to vacate his conviction and grant him a new trial. Another attempt by a convicted Rhode Island cop killer to clear his name. Esteban Carpio is currently serving life without parole in a Connecticut prison. He was found guilty for the 2005 murder of Providence Police Detective James Allen.
Every day, I face the facts of what I did and what happened.
In this latest filing, Carpio claims the state denied him due process during that trial. He says he was suffering from mental illness and lacked criminal responsibility when he killed Detective Allen inside police headquarters. He also claims his trial lawyer wasn't familiar with state law, proving ineffective counsel. But this isn't the first time he's attempted to appeal his conviction. According to documents, he filed an appeal and an application for post-conviction relief in 2012. Both were denied.
The murder of my husband was a cold and deliberate action. The jury found that Esteban Carpio was not insane at the time of the crime.
During his trial in 2006, 2 expert witnesses said Carpio was suffering from schizophrenia at the time of the killing and couldn't be held responsible. But the state's witnesses said the man was an antisocial criminal. The jury rejected the insanity defense and convicted Carpio of first-degree murder. Now he hopes to see the court.
I used to be frightened by all the wine coolers I saw. I was scared I wouldn't pick the right one. Luckily, I did. It was the most refreshing one of them all, Sun Country wine cooler. You see, Sun Country is a blend of premium white wine and real fruit juice. That's what gives it its great taste. Sun Country, say, give me the real juice cooler. If you don't say Sun Country, you'd better sleep with your lights on.
But we told you he's an Article 4 free inhabitant, so he does not have to have a license. This is on recording. Article 4, free inhabitant, pursuant to the Articles of Confederation. You can look it up. It's in the United States Book of Codes. It is your laws you have to follow.
All right, I will do that. I want to walk you back here.
Article 4, free inhabitant, pursuant to the Articles of Confederation.
Put the camera down for me. Is that if it records, that's fine. But I don't want you holding anything.
No weapons, no weapons. All right, no.
Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the same thing.
You get out of the car?
Yes.
No, I'm not getting out of the car.
All right.
You can go get your superior.
Well, I am going to tow this car, and you cannot be in the vehicle while I'm towing this vehicle.
Well, if you go get your superior, he'll clarify
right
that he can be set free because he does not have to have a license.
It's not going to happen right now, young lady. So either you're going to come out of the car on your own free will, or I'm going to assist you.
I'm going to get out of the car and walk down to that house.
No, you are not free to leave right now.
Are you saying you have authority over me?
Yes, I do.
You have proven authority over me.
Yes, I do.
How did you do that?
The County of Imperial through the sheriff.
You do not have authority over a human being, over a free inhabitant.
Do you want to argue the point?
You need to go look up your laws.
I don't have to look at anything right now. What I need to do is get you out of the vehicle. If you have identification, please hand the identification over to me.
No.
Identify yourself to me.
And I'm not going to step out of the vehicle.
All right, well, you know, you are impeding my investigation. You are delaying me, which is a penal code violation in the state of California.
That law only applies to U.S. citizens.
Well, where are you a citizen of?
I am not a U.S. citizen.
Well, see, that's
I
where
am
you're
a free
mistaken.
inhabitant. I am of
That's
the
where
earth. I do not belong to any corporation. I do not belong to any country.
Yeah, but as
no.
long as you're in the sovereign states of the United States, you will abide by the rules and laws.
See,
and you have certain protections.
a free inhabitant is they are allowed to. They're free people. They have all of the rights of a U.S. citizen without following any of their laws.
Well, that would just be pure anarchy if that were the case.
No, because
So I'm
we're
gonna have
peaceful
you step
people.
out of the
We're
vehicle
peaceful
for me,
people. You go call them up and ask them, and they'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I don't know who to call.
Your superior.
Well, I am a superior to a certain extent.
So call your superior.
Well, it's going to take a couple hours or so for somebody to come down.
Well, just
and that's
call
not going to
them.
happen right now.
Well, then we're gonna have to solve it some other way.
All right.
We just need to. You need to call in, tell them I'm a free inhabitant, and find out what
Well,
that is.
I am going to tow this vehicle, young lady, so you cannot be in this vehicle.
I understand that. So all right, then I'm gonna get out of the vehicle and I'm going to walk down to that house
No, you're
because
not.
you do not have authority
No, you're
over
not.
me. Well, then I'm not getting out of the vehicle.
No, you're not.
Why?
You're not free to leave.
Why?
As soon as I conclude the rest of my investigation, you will be free to leave. As far as I know, you have not done anything wrong at this point, but you are slowly reaching to that point
you know what?
to 148 PC.
I'll get out of the vehicle for you. I will get out of the vehicle. And I'm getting water.
All right, well, you're not free to leave.
You're
going to take the bag
No,
off.
no, I'm
You're going
not.
to take the bag off.
No, I'm not.
Relax your...
Hey! You're raping me. This is rape. This is rape. This is rape.
Relax.
Okay.
Relax your arms.
It's relaxed.
Stop fighting with me.
It's relaxed.
Stop fighting with me. Stop fighting.
All right. I'm not fighting.
Center 2, 5, 6. I got a combative X-ray.
Here, I'm lifting my arm up. I'm lifting my arm up.
your arm right
it
there.
hurt. Okay, I told you what I was doing.
This is pain compliance, okay? It's not meant to be comfortable.
This is illegal.
Do I have your attention?
This is completely illegal.
No.
No! Take my bag off.
I can't.
You're not putting me in the car. You can wait till you get to your superior. You are not taking my bag off. You can handcuff me with my bag on.
You're right. I will. Relax.
I'm relaxed. Don't touch my bag! You got me my bag! You're gonna get in so much trouble, you son of a bitch! You're gonna get sued! You don't even know what you're doing! I'm telling you, I'm
Young
gonna
lady,
fucking sue you!
Stop.
What's your name? Argadona. You're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get fucking... Oh my god, you don't know your own laws!
Relax, young
You
lady.
don't know your own laws!
Relax, young lady.
I can't believe you just did this.
You need to calm down.
You're gonna get in trouble. You don't know your own laws.
Calm down.
You're illegally doing this. I told you I was a free inhabitant.
Calm down.
You are illegally doing this.
Young lady, calm down.
You are illegally doing this. I told you this is against my will. You did this illegal. You cut my bag.
All right, you're under arrest.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Give me my stuff.
Relax.
No.
You're
Leave
under
me
arrest.
alone.
You can't have this big camera right
You can go get your superior.
I will
go get,
somebody-
and I'm
but not
waiting
right
right here. Go get your fucking superior. You son of a bitch! Give me my fucking stuff! You fucking asshole!
You need to calm down.
You need to fucking learn your goddamn job because you don't know your fucking laws! Go get your superior and go
Calm
get
down.
your fucking laws!
Let's go.
No! You son of a fucking bitch! Fuck you! You stupid son of a bitch! You don't know what you're fucking doing! You're gonna get fucking in trouble! Oh my god, you son of a...
There's someone special I want to look good for. Me.
It's my turn to see what I can see. I hope you'll understand. This time's just for me.
Looking good makes me feel good, so I use Oil of Olay. It's so sheer and greaseless, it sinks right in for a softer, younger look.
Oil of Olay, beauty fluid or luxurious cream to help keep you looking younger too.
Well, arrest is going to come check you out, man. I can't let you go. You were literally choking in your sleep. Somebody flagged me down about it.
Oh, I have sleep apnea. I'm sorry.
Well, and then you have a crack pipe in your hands.
A city councilman in Cranston, Rhode Island faces a drug charge after a police officer finds him sleeping in his car with a crack pipe in his hand. Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Anjanette Levy. That Cranston police officer's body camera recorded the interaction he had with Councilman Matthew Riley earlier this week. Take a look. You can see Riley sleeping, his mouth wide open as the officer approaches. Riley has a lighter and a pipe in his hand. The officer rouses him from his sleep.
Do you have any weapons on you?
No, not at all.
Yeah. All right.
Roads open, Boston.
You're gonna stop. Try not to. Oh, no way, dude. Really?
Yes, yes. I was just on my way back from court.
Bro. Well, Orestes gonna come check you out, man. I can't let you go. You were literally choking in your sleep. Somebody flagged me down about it.
Oh, I have sleep apnea. I'm sorry.
Well, and then you have a crack pipe in your hand, so it's like...
Wait, sorry.
Listen, I have a body camera. Obviously, everything I have is recorded. You know that, and what I've observed is on camera, so I can't pretend I didn't. You know, so Orestes gonna come here, and they're gonna check you out. You know, as far as I know, there's no drugs anywhere, so I can't, you know, so there's not a criminal investigation. There's more a health or well-being check type thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I obviously have to document it, you know. You can have that back.
Thank you. There will be no arrest.
What?
There will be no arrest?
No. Are there any drugs in the car or anything like that?
No, nothing.
All right.
The officer questions Riley about his drug use. He's forthcoming and discusses struggling with addiction.
How long have you had this problem, man?
It was a relapse. I've been clean for 13 years.
All right.
Just went through a really, really bad divorce recently.
Okay. Do you know if any of that was laced with fentanyl or anything? Because you were out, and looked like you were choking.
Really?
Yeah. That's why somebody literally sprinted and flagged me down because they thought you were having a heart attack or choking.
No, not that I know of.
EMTs arrived to check out Riley as the police officers search his vehicle, which is littered with trash and junk. The officer found a chore boy scouring pad in the glove box. Chore boy is made of copper and metal. Drug users sometimes use a chore boy to make a crack pipe.
You got a test kit?
Yeah.
So it's over here.
A second officer arrives. They approach the vehicle to test suspected drugs found in the car.
What's wrong with this guy? It's your whole life. Down the drain for what?
So you don't know him at all? You guys don't know?
I've never met him in my life. We'll probably dig out just a smaller little rock so we don't have to break anything.
If we get a little bit with the powder.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll touch it. Forget it.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. Be careful, because he was on the nod, or it seemed like
sure
anyways.
It's mixed with something else, but...
Listen. Do you need this knife?
Yeah, let me use that.
Be careful with that stuff. I don't know if that's fentanyl laced or not. There's white all over there. He doesn't know.
Yeah, I was just telling him the same thing, because, I mean, you don't fall asleep usually from completely, you know, it's not an opiate usually. It's pure.
He claims he was tired and he may have sleep apnea, but I don't think that's going to...
Especially like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, only climb a lot, too. It's like, you stick out like a sore thumb.
Well,
right away.
Fentanyl?
Coke.
Yeah.
Crack. Pop for crack. I can test it for fentanyl, too.
Test it for both, just to make sure that I don't know what we're dealing with.
Well, can you just snap a picture of that?
Especially when you put him in a cell.
The sergeant on scene tells the officers to charge Riley. Then they look at a white powder on his driver's seat.
He wants to have his mother come get the car, but I'm not going to... I wouldn't have... No, not getting in there, touching all that. All that white powder, that's a piece of crack. Yeah, that's definitely crack.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, you can smell it, and he's burning up.
He has a bunch of chore boy and...
Should we have it towed?
It looks like he's like half living out of his car. There's like
private property.
toiletries.
We're good. We're on private property. And this guy's
yeah, look at this. He's got a problem.
I'll do all the evidence stuff for you.
Thank you. All right, so is he rescue's good with him?
Yeah, they're just finishing up right now.
He's got the Brillo and everything over there.
Yep.
You see it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on. It's
They're
all.
finishing up right now.
That was in his glove compartment.
The first officer on scene also removed a crack pipe from Riley's vehicle. Riley appears to be okay after leaving EMTs and talking to the officer.
Yeah, I know. It's not like I have an option here, man. Sorry.
No, you got anything on you? No.
I got gloves on.
All right. There's stuff all over that car. When your mother gets in that car, I bet she sits in that, touches her face or mouth and goes down.
I had no idea there was anything down there.
So,
No, I mean the
yeah, you don't know what you're buying.
Yeah.
Did you buy that today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. And
Yeah.
You don't. Is the same guy you usually buy it from?
I don't really usually buy it off anybody.
They're not all honest people.
No, I mean.
Once or twice.
Yeah, but whoever you buy it from, if you continuously buy it from them, you know who you're buying it from. You don't know what people are putting in it.
No, I understand.
You know, they may have made that, but that's a big rock you got in there. What's that? A $50 piece?
100.
100.
Yeah,
So,
I just got back into this.
This is gonna listen. This is a terrible situation. We're all in a tough spot, but we gotta do what we gotta do right by the numbers. It'll help you in the end. Believe me when I tell you. And you'll say to us a month from now, good best thing that ever happened to me. That's what they all tell us. You can't go down this road anymore.
No.
God forbid we find you dead. That's terrible. You know what I mean? And you were down in the car.
No, I mean I have an appointment set up for the 17th to go get help.
Yeah. You gotta get on a program right away.
No,
I look at you. Yeah. You're not the Matt Riley that we know. Trust me. And listen. Your health and your well-being is worth way more than any political career.
Riley then expresses his concern about the media finding out about his arrest.
We don't report nothing to the media unless someone tells them. So, and then arrest records are public record. I'm not going to lie to you. But
we can do for the kids.
there's not much we can do on this. Unfortunately, if I was in your situation, I'd be in handcuffs.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying don't arrest me.
Yeah.
In terms of media for the kids, as much as
listen.
quiet.
We are only required to release what we release, and we won't. We have to release an arrest record by law. You know. All right, jump in before you. We just want to make sure we got to monitor you because you've taken in some
I'm going to pat you down again, all right?
You've taken in some fentanyl, Matt, and that's we've got to make sure you may not feel it right now, but God forbid something happens to you.
Yeah, no, I've never done that
before.
before.
Terrible about that, you know. I mean, you're not going to be there all day. You'll be in and out.
I'm going to keep your wallet with me. I have your phone already. You want me to throw this stuff in the car real quick?
Sure.
All right. Just step on in here. I'll bucket you up. Oh, wait.
Matt, who's going to come
side.
get that car?
This is a full cage.
What's that?
Getting you to say, who's going to come get this car out?
I would.
Huh?
I would.
All right. Listen, you got to clean this car up.
It's supposed to be going back in tomorrow.
Oh.
My car's getting fixed.
Oh, this isn't even your car?
No, it's a loaner
All right.
car.
Yeah. All right. I mean, there's all shit on the seat. Drugs on the seat.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't joking. I have an appointment on the 17th.
All right.
I'll crack a window for you in a second.
Matthew Riley faces a drug possession charge. He's resigned from his position as chairman of Cranston's Republican Party, and he's in rehab. The mayor of the city has urged him to step down from city council, and he's done so publicly. Riley will be back in court next month. For Law and Crime, I'm Anjanette Levy.
Thursday, it's Cosby starting off a night of family fun. And leave it to Family Ties to keep the laughs coming.
Oh no, what are we going to do? Everything's under control.
Then on Cheers, will Norm think on a friend to get a promotion?
Yes.
And the fun continues with Night Court.
I'm here to strip for Dan Fielding.
Thursday.
Verd, the newest member.
Verde.
Verd, I'm sorry.
No, we're not idiots. We don't butcher the Spanish language.
You don't. This is the newest member of Susan and Josh's family.
This is our baby.
PSL's new investigative podcast series, Cold, enters its second week with more bombshell revelations, this time dealing not with Josh Powell, but instead his father, Stephen. Front and center, boxes of evidence seized from his Washington home. In them, dozens of disturbing videotapes.
Some were used in his voyeurism trial in Washington, but most of them sat in storage at West Valley Police Headquarters for nearly a decade.
Yeah, Dave, and the only people to see them were detectives, Steve himself, and KSL investigative reporter Dave Colley. Dave, everyone's anxious to find out what in the world you found.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty crazy stuff. Digging through those tapes and the other evidence police seized, I learned two things. Stephen's claim that he had a mutual intimate relationship with his daughter-in-law was anything but, and his infatuation with her went way beyond anything even the police might have imagined.
Here, let me just get a picture of you two.
For years, Steve Powell lived with a camcorder in his hand, videotaping important events. Weddings, graduations.
Hey, Josh, wave. There you go.
But look closer at these moments captured on camera, and you'll see a startling pattern. Regardless of the occasion, Steve Powell focused his lens on one thing.
Hold your hand up, please.
Susan.
Great. Now we will no longer look at your fingers. We will look at you. So, that's Susan. There's Josh. I want her.
To not further victimize Susan, we won't show you most of Steve's videos. The majority details Steve's fantasies about Susan, which are sexually explicit. But to understand the family turmoil she endured, you need to see how Steve fixated on her from the very early days of her marriage.
We're too close.
Steve's own journals reveal his infatuation became perversion and persisted through the years.
You know, she was very open in a sexual way.
And he was vocal about it after she disappeared, claiming Susan was a willing participant.
It was definitely a romantic obsession, yeah. I mean, you know, Susan's a beautiful woman, and when a beautiful woman comes on to you like that, it's really hard to resist that kind of a thing. I mean, maybe it's just me. Probably inappropriate, but I admit those things were going on.
But no one knew the depth of his obsession until investigators stepped foot in his bedroom.
It was a house of horrors when we went through there.
Police were there to retrieve Susan's childhood journals. Journals Steve spent years swiping and scanning. And journals Josh and Steve had intended to publish to paint Susan as promiscuous. But that plan backfired.
Yeah, that opened the door for us. That gave us the search warrant that got us into the house. That found that and much more evidence, yeah.
Inside a locked filing cabinet in Steve Powell's closet, police found evidence that his self-proclaimed relationship with Susan was one-sided. He stalked her, videotaping her from inside his car. He stole her personal items, her underwear, nail clippings, hygiene products, and he doctored photos of her and used his camera to build his collection.
20 to 25 detectives there, and we all went, wow. We were like, that's crazy.
So crazy, it bordered on delusion. Steve spent years convincing himself that Susan loved him back.
And I know she felt it. I mean, I know she couldn't have missed it. She's not naive either, I know, from what I've read in her journals. But if she didn't notice that, she did. She had to.
Sometimes Susan knew she was being filmed. Other times, she had no idea. We found one tape not even Steve realized he was recording.
It just seems like
that captured the moment that he professed his love for her.
I've really fallen in love with you.
You can hear exactly how Susan responded in episode 2 of Cold, available right now. Again, we're being very deliberate in the video clips we are choosing to share here. The goal with Cold is to shine a light on abusive behaviors and to help others escape.
The whole thing's disturbing. Very disturbing.
Yeah.
Very difficult. All right. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
I just had what is probably the most erotic experience I've had in my entire life. I hate to say it, I mean, of course, I haven't had that many experiences, but Susan has been feeling ill. She had a cold. And I offered to rub her feet, to rub her toes, to give her some stimulation. That went on. I probably rubbed her feet. Her toes are beautiful feet. She has such pretty feet. Of course, everything about her is pretty, beautiful. And I know she felt it. I mean, she couldn't have missed it. She's not naive either, I know from what I've read in her journals. That girl is not naive. When I started massaging her legs, I would have loved to go all the way up her legs, but I did do her calves because her feet were resting in my crotch, so I sort of rubbed her calves. She didn't seem to mind at all having me that close. I mean, I was close. I was touching her with my crotch. Then I just started rubbing her back and her neck and her shoulders. I didn't want to push my luck. Josh was sitting across the room on the chair, and he wasn't always watching, so I sort of took liberties as he didn't watch. And you know, I put my hands around the front, and I did feel her breasts, at least to some degree. I didn't put my hands, and I didn't cup my hands over them, but I felt the sides and a little bit on the underneath, and she had an underwire bra on, wow. And yeah. It's hard to remember everything I did. Man, I love that woman. She is so beautiful. I can't even get enough of her. Can't get enough of looking at her. She's so pretty. And I held her arm and I held her hand. I cupped her hand in mine, her beautiful little hands. And I rubbed her forearm. And I massaged it all up and down. Massaged it for a long time. I went up her sleeve. She didn't even mind. She seemed to enjoy it. I mean, I slipped my hand up inside of her sleeve, and I had it over here, and I was massaging her shoulder blade, and I was right here, just above her breast.